What's up? Hello, everybody. We are here early. Okay, that it. Roll. Can you guys hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Bobo. Give me a thumbs up. Hey, I went live, but it doesn't seem like you can see me yet.
Where are you?
Well, I'm in. I see the chat and everything, but maybe it's because it says there's... Oh, hello. Can you guys see me? Is it working on me? Give me a thumbs up if you can see me.
1 second. Okay.
We see you. Okay, we're good. Thanks.
Okay.
All right. Bobo, come here. You got me and Bo, okay? Come here, Bo. Come here. Come here. Come here, come here, come here, come here. Come here, come on. Come here, big boy. Ugh. Sorry, I'm trying to bring my big goober up here. Say hello to Bo. Hi, Bobo. You're on the internet, buddy. Hi. All right. There's your dog content. Okay, go. Hi. That's Bo. My other dog is Alfie, and there's people cleaning my house right now, and so Alfie is losing her mind, barking like crazy, so she had to be sent to timeout. All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for all the love on Brittle Bones Nicky 3. I can't believe we made a third, honestly. It's still hard to kind of to process. I can't believe when we first, for those of you, there's a video about this on kind of the story of making up Brittle Bones Nicky. But, I remember 5 years ago, whatever, I saw this old man outside of this kind of assisted living complex, and he kind of inspired this character. And, I remember finishing the lyrics pretty much on that first walk. And that was Brittle Bones Nicky. And I remember we recorded it and we thought it was this crazy kind of wacky song. And we didn't really think too much of it. We recorded 18 or 20 songs from that session. And bam, we put it out. It took on a life of its own. And now I didn't think we'd make a second. Then we had an idea and decided to go for it. And then you guys, so many people asked for a part 3 that I didn't want to do it if it was forced. That was kind of my... I guess one rule for myself is if we're just doing this to do it, I don't want to do it. So a couple of years went by and I didn't really have any good ideas. And then when I was working kind of on the screenplay, which we can talk a little bit about, that's when, I had kind of the idea to take some of the screenplay and put it in to make like a specific section of Nicky's life, which then became part 3. So went to town, wrote the lyrics, worked hard on recording it. It was probably the longest song that we've recorded because we recorded it at one studio. It took 3 days to do it as we were kind of writing it. And then we thought we could beat it. So we took it back to Ben, who is the guy who did our second album, the producer and engineer, and we worked with him. And then we used that recording, and then we went to town and made the video. The video was actually probably, well, at least the story of the video was the easiest part because we already knew the story so well. But I think that Crooked City Studios / Solace Animation did a really good job on the video. And bam, we put it out. My biggest thing is that I just wanted people to, know that we were genuine about it and that we were doing it, honestly. And I had no idea what to expect. Didn't really have a goal going into it of how many views or whatever we would get. And then turns out you guys broke every record we've ever had in terms of the first day and the first month. First weekend. So thank you so much. I'm just thrilled that you guys are digging it. It makes me feel really good. really good for everybody on Team Rare Americans to get a nice little win like this. Been a little while since we've had a song really kind of pop. So it's really fun when things work out. So with that being said, a few other things. So yes, I will announce the contest winner, which picking randomly from the comments. And besides that, we have obviously tour tickets on sale. So we haven't been on the road in a while. It's been like a year and a half, and we play our first show kind of back this Thursday or this Friday in London, England. So there's only a few tickets left for that show. It's almost sold out. Really excited. It's a fully new show. So always a little bit nervous for that. We've been working hard on it, and I feel like we've rehearsed it so many times that now it's time to just actually go perform it and see what you guys think. So this Friday, London, England, almost sold out. Anybody here from London who wants to come, make sure you get tickets shortly. And then we got Paris, Amsterdam, a couple shows in Germany and Prague. And then we just put on sale an entire tour for North America. So a ton of dates in USA and Canada. Lots of the VIP tickets went really fast. So there's only 50 VIP tickets per market, and many of them already had, the majority of them sold. So if you want to come to a VIP, make sure you get on it. Without further ado, let's rock and roll. So I will answer some questions here specifically about Brittle Bones Nicky 3, the story, the song, the making of the video. And there's a lot of comments. These things go really fast. And fun fact for you guys, I'm not just trying to get your money, but when you do leave a tip, it becomes highlighted, and it's very easy for me to see. So if you really, really have a question you want answered, that's an easy way for it to be quite literally highlighted in this timeline. So let's start here. I will always be so grateful you guys ran those YouTube ads with the OG Brittle Bones Nicky. Let me find a part of my life I didn't know I was missing. I love you guys. That's awesome. That's the best thing about what we do is that you guys find the way to connect with these songs and use them as a tool in your own lives. So much appreciated. Hello there. Thanks for the $5. Congratulations on making 1 million subscribers. Thank you. Very much appreciate it. A lot of people are asking how Shifty died. So let's talk about Shifty for a second. So in Brittle Bones Nicky 1, obviously Shifty is the one who gives Nicky the nickname of Brittle Bones Nicky. But kind of the further backstory, which was kind of in the screenplay, which we're trying to sell the screenplay right now. I think we realized that making a movie was way more expensive than we thought going into it. Turns out it's, millions and millions of dollars. So, we've put together a nice little pitch package for the film, and we're actually trying to get it funded and to sell it, or license it. But in the backstory, Nicky goes to a foster home and it's Miss Ava's. That's the name of the foster home. And here at the foster home, he meets 4 or 5 kids, and one of those kids is Shifty. So at the beginning, Shifty is kind of like the bully, which he's presented as. But over time, him and Nicky become good friends. They realize they have a lot more in common. Shifty obviously also comes from very much a broken home, and he's about to age out of foster care, and he has no real options. He can't really get a job. He doesn't have any schooling to fall back on. So he's worried he's going to kind of end up dealing drugs. So Nicky has an idea for all the kids in the foster home, and he starts what he calls the skeleton crew. And they pull these little small time heists and pickpocket schemes and sleight of hand theft. Nicky's kind of the salesperson, showman, kind of entertainer, and then the other kids kind of do the pickpocketing, and Shifty's kind of the muscle. So things start to go well. They start to make a little bit of money for themselves. They all obviously just want to get out of the foster care system with a little bit of money and then move on with their lives and be good citizens in the world. And then Nicky gets an opportunity for the skeleton crew that gets presented to him that is much bigger, but more money, more payoff, but a lot more risk. And Nicky, it's his decision, even though the group doesn't fully agree with it. And Nicky decides that the group should do it. And at this very dangerous, high stakes kind of pickpocketing scheme, that's when Shifty unfortunately gets killed by kind of the thugs. And that's what sends Nicky to juvie for the first time. And he feels the guilt and kind of the shame of Shifty's death. So that is kind of the backstory on Shifty. All right. Hopefully that makes sense. MPX, thanks for the tip. Congrats on 1 mil. My wife Angie loves you guys and can't wait for more music. All right. Well, we got lots more on the way. So thank you very much. So that is, yeah, the story of Shifty. What else we got here? How did you decide the circus storyline for Nicky? That's a good one. Way back, this is actually like 2 years ago, when I had written kind of the first bit or had an idea for the Brittle and Nicky screenplay. We did kind of like a writer's room with myself and a couple of the Solace siblings from Crooked City Studios, and we were in Toronto and kind of putting all the ideas on the board, just like you would make a traditional TV show. And that's when we started really fleshing it out. And I wanted there to be a love story element because obviously neither the first or the third first or the second really has anything to do with love. So I wanted Nicky, who's, he's in adolescence, he's going to experience these things. I wanted to kind of go down that path and be like, who would this person be and why and what could happen? And so that's where the idea from Carla came. And the name Carla came from a character I just loved in my favorite book called Shantaram. The female character in that book is named Carla, so I kind of snagged it from that. Shantaram is an amazing book for anybody out there. It's kind of like a traveling book, takes place in India. And so, yeah, jacked the name Carla from that. And then, yeah, that's, just, I thought that she was going to be a trapeze artist in the circus. Thought it was kind of fitting. And, I was trying to think, okay, he's crafty, he's tricky, he's Brittle Bones Nicky. So it made sense to me that a natural place for him to go could be the circus, and that, he was going to kind of risk everything for love for the first time. And even though he's skipping parole and everything, he's kind of doing it for, the greater good, I guess, for his heart and this experience. And he didn't want to give up on this girl. So I felt it kind of stayed true to the ethos of like Nicky's character on, he always is, like, if it cost me my life, man, I'd save my only friend. That's something I could live with. I could take that to the end. That's kind of his guiding North Star. And so now he ends up in this situation with Carla where she's being essentially, blackmailed and extorted by Chaplin, and she goes to Nicky to try to kind of help solve her problem. And Nicky is ready to kind of, risk it all for Carla and the prospect of them kind of getting out of the circus together and living a life together. And little did he know that Carla, and mostly Carla's sister, which it's more about that in the film version, she sees an opportunity for them to kind of use Nicky as a scapegoat and, kind of deflect all the heat from themselves so they can kind of escape. And unfortunately, Nicky kind of becomes, an innocent bystander in this situation. And I guess one thing I really wanted to make sure is that Carla was not fully a horrible human. She actually did love Nicky. She really loved Nicky, and it breaks her heart to do this. But she kind of had to choose between family and this new love, and she chose family. But I want to make clear that Carla does love Nicky very much, which almost makes it even harder. Thank you for the $10, Otaku. Congratulations on the 1 mil. The animators did an amazing job, and I love and hope the story continues to grow. This helped me through a hard time, and I'm going to thank you and your team. Awesome. I appreciate that. I will pass that around. Thank you, Muis, for the $5. What is the actual chronological events in order of time? Okay, so lots of questions on this. So Brittle Bones Nicky 1 is kind of like an overview of his entire life. Brittle Bones Nicky 2 is at obviously the end of his life when he goes into the afterlife. And I'd say Brittle Bones Nicky 3 is kind of like in the middle, almost after the first verse of Brittle Bones Nicky 1. So he gets out of the foster care and he ends up in juvie. And then once he gets out of juvie, that's when essentially this part begins. And this is like a specific time period in his life. What else we got here? Okay, one thing I do want to clear up is I thought I was just being cheeky by the end of the song. What I say, friends, foes, is there part 4? Who knows what tricks I got in store? But you know me, ha 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 ha. I never closed that door. I almost feel like that was like me speaking, not even the character. And at this point in time, I literally do not have a plan for a part 4. Okay. There's more to the Brittle and Nicky story from the screenplay, but at this point, don't even have a start on what the song Brittle Bones Nicky 4 would be. So who knows? Maybe this will be an every 3-year kind of thing, or who knows? Maybe inspiration will strike at some point, and we'll continue on the path. But right now, I don't have a plan for that. Thanks for the $5, Cyrus. Will you ever make another song like Moving On? I actually feel like we have lots of songs like Moving On. I think you just got to go through our discography on the albums, and there's quite a few. I feel like Rare Americans has lots of buckets of songs. We have kind of like the weirder, more musical theater-y kind of songs like Hullabaloo and the Brittle Bones Nickies and Wednesday Night on our new album. And then we have more like, I want to say more straight ahead, like pop indie kind of songs, like Baggage or Moving On, or I thought Stupid Heart was kind of like that. And we have several others of those. Falling Down on our second album. I love those kind of songs too. Don't get me wrong. I really love melody and pop sensibility. So I don't know if we'll ever be like a band that only makes these kind of weird bangers like Brittle Bones Nicky or Hullabaloo. I think we'll probably always, dive into the various different buckets of songs that we have. That seems to be kind of a through line, for the band over the last 5 or 6 years. So I think we'll continue to do that. I feel like when you listen to a Rare Americans album, you're going to get a whole bunch of everything. So just listen through to our albums and you'll probably find some more songs that are like that. Thank you for the $5, Thinnest Org. Can't wait to see you guys in Chicago. Bought the VIP and was wondering how it works. What is offered. Thank you again for coming to North America. Last time we did like an acoustic performance. So we played a few songs on the acoustic. Then we did like a Q&A session where you guys can kind of ask us anything and get, close and personal about things. And then at that point we gave a preview of chapter 1 of Searching for Strawberries, which wasn't out yet. So we set up like a nice big screen and had like a little movie party. This time will be a little bit different. I was actually thinking of making maybe like a presentation on the history of myself and Rare Americans and, how I got to this place in my life, I guess, and where we go from here kind of thing, and give a lot more kind of detailed backstory with pictures and videos. And I always love when different people I find fascinating when I can kind of learn their backstory and how they got to the place that they are, with a bunch of pictures from different time periods and stuff. I find it's a really entertaining thing to do, and a good way to almost learn someone's biography. So I was thinking about doing that. I'm sure we're going to have more acoustic performances, probably some questionnaires. We do a kind of meet and greet with a picture, and we can chit chat. You can get things signed and whatnot. You get a custom T-shirt, and you guys get first access to merch. And merch seems to go pretty quickly at shows. So that's a little bit about the VIP. And Chicago was one of the shows that the VIP is pretty close to sold out, actually. So if you do want to get tickets for that, you get on them quickly. Thank you, Arenio Stamos. Congratulations for the song, by the way. Is the circus announcer the white skeleton from the second song that welcomes Nicky to heaven? Yes, it is. Same voice. That's Duran. He does both of those characters. Thank you for the $5. Ordain, how have you been doing during this turmoil? We care about you as well as the gang. Thank you. I've been good. I'm in like the busiest ever part of my life. I feel like With Rare Americans, obviously, we really ramped things up this year. We wanted to try to keep things fun and interesting, both for ourselves and for you guys. So obviously, we recorded like 25 songs. We put them out on the Human Animal. And then as that project was finishing, that's when I actually had this idea for Brittle Bones Nicky 3. And I think I kind of like pushed the team to get it done because I thought it would be a good follow-up after this album. So we worked really hard on getting that done. All the while, I just had a child. I just had my first kid. So he's 4.5 months old now. So I've become a dad in between this process. So that's been very awesome and entertaining and challenging and taking up a lot of time. But it's been a beautiful experience. And I've been looking at kind of other parts of my life and things that I'm also interested in, kind of moving forward in the next 10 years of my life. And I've been working on some other, avenues of things that I'd like to dive into. And one of those things is I'm a passionate part of the psychedelics community. I've had a couple great experiences using the plant medicine ayahuasca in Costa Rica. That's been a real game changer and a positive in my life. And I'm a huge advocate for the use of psychedelics for therapy with people. And that's something I'm very passionate about. And I feel like it's something that can improve the world and the general well-being of everybody's mental health. When done in the right set and setting, I think that's a really important part of it. So I have been kind of going down the path and seeing how I can include myself in this field moving forward through the next years of my life, because I'm just a huge believer in the potential benefit that it can have for people's mental and physical well-being. So that's something I've also been diving into all simultaneously. So it's been just a wild 6 months. I feel like I've learned a lot. I've had to kind of manage my time and my energy and my emotions through the highs and the lows and the good days and the bad days and the challenges and, kind of just keeping going. So that's something I've been working really hard at. So lots going on, which is great. So let's see what else we got. Okay, we got more. I want to get to these ones of people who tipped because I appreciate it. I never know how to say your name. I know exactly who you are. Lycan Tori, listen Tori. I don't know. I feel like maybe I should know what that is, but I don't. But totally know who you are. So, and I remember drawing the tattoo that you ended up getting. So, are any songs on the Human Animal actually meant for Skids but didn't make it into the movie? Some songs sound like it. No. Skids was its own project. That's the next probably project for Rare Americans. We made a full movie. We made a punk rock musical. It's just about 90 minutes. It's a real movie and it's a musical. And it premiered at the Annecy Film Festival with 2 sold-out screenings in June. And now it's been making its way through the festival circuit in Europe. And that project was completely written as a concept project, start to finish. No songs from the Human Animal were meant for that project or vice versa. So, and thank you for driving all the way to wherever it was, Switzerland or something, to go watch it. That's super cool. I felt like I missed a couple here. How about some short comics for some of your projects? Comics it's just a lot of work, to be honest with you. We looked into comics a while ago. It was both decently expensive, and the comic artist wanted to really have their spin on the characters and the stories. And not that I was not okay with that, but it just created more work for me. I felt like having to double, triple check, go over new storylines and backstories. And I'm not saying it's something we won't ever do, but it felt like the amount of work that had to go into it based on the upside of it, I just wasn't kind of sold on it at the time. So we'll see. Ordain, I won't take any more of your time, but I wish the best for you and your kid. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. It means a lot. Next one. Jones, I've never seen any animal characters in the BBM songs. Is BBN its own world, or are they just not around? Good question. BBN is kind of like its own world, but he can and kind of does fit into the overall world of Crooked City, which you guys have also heard a little bit about. That one is a project we made a full pilot episode for. I could literally post the pilot in here if you wanted. It's a full 23-minute episode. Sorry, I'm not actually going to do that because, again, we're trying to sell that property as well. And that is a world that, like, a bunch of real life people like myself, Brittle Bones, Nicky, kind of end up in this world called Crooked City. And yeah, we're working hard to try and sell or license that property to a distributor because, again, we learned that it was unbelievably expensive to make. So a little bit of backstory there. What else we got here? Holy shit, these are going fast. Okay, I'll try to gear this a little bit more towards Brittle Bones Nicky because that's obviously what we've been talking about here. So at the end of the music video, there's Ben and Hank being rescued by Boom. Will they be in the next song? Well, they live in the Brittle Bones Nicky universe, so I felt like that was when we teased a potential part 4. It felt like there had to be more to those guys' stories. So Cyrus, will you ever do a show in Connecticut? I don't know. I'm not sure. We play shows in the markets where we think we can sell the most amount of tickets so they can pay for themselves and we can make a little bit of money. Not easy to make money in this industry. So if we see that Connecticut, all of a sudden we got a bunch of fans there, then we'll come. What else we got here? Does he have Brittle Bones Nicky disease? No, he doesn't. That has nothing to do with the character. It was just a nickname. But I do know, I learned later on, even way after the song came out, that Brittle Bones disease was actually a thing. Jones, thank you for the further $5. Nicky is seen in gas mask as an old man, but a little kid and walking and talking. Did James and Lubo just age differently or something? You can't be perfect. Can't get everything right. Or do we live in a simulation? Dun, 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 dun. There's more in Crooked City on that one. I don't want to give away everything, at this moment. No problem for answering your question. Will there ever be a part about the relationship of Shifty and Nicky? In the film version, the screenplay, there's a lot on Shifty and Nicky. They have several like really awesome intellectual conversations. That was one of my favorite parts about the screenplay, is that these Brittle Bones Nickies are very action packed. Like they're almost like an adventure film or musical. The screenplay that we wrote was a little bit more intellectual. They had a lot of really good deep conversations kind of about life, and there's a lot more character development. And I really like that in films or shows. So that's an element that obviously when we're making music videos, you can't really get across, but you certainly can in a film. So yeah, there's definitely, if this film ever gets made, there's a lot more on Shifty and Nicky's relationship. Mom turned off explicits on Spotify. Please make clean versions of songs. I'm sorry. Don't come to one of our shows then, because we say fuck a decent amount. I don't even mean to. It just comes out. Okay, what do we got here? Brandon, thanks for the $2. Ryan and Dave 2. Probably not a Ryan and Dave 2. I feel like it's quite a sensitive topic that I feel like we kind of captured it, and I'm not sure that we want to dive into it. It was based, somewhat loosely on a true story. So out of respect for those people, not sure that we want to do that again. Thanks for the $5, Jones. You've given us like $20 or something. I appreciate that. Did Nicky get the money for the pie by doing the talent show and walking and talking? No. He pickpocketed someone. Would you play Warped Tour since it's coming back? We've never been invited to Warped Tour, so. Okay, we're gonna announce the winner of the draw here at 4:30, so in 3 minutes. What else we got here? Sorry, these go fast. He rounded up a couple of bucks. Other songs connected. Focus. Can we get a Ben? A lot of people have asked about a Ben focused song. I'd have to think a lot more on Ben. He's kind of more about the part. I guess the end of Brittle Bones Nicky 2. which we got more into that. But he needs more character development if we're to give him his own song. I also don't know if you guys would relate as much to Ben because he's much older than most of our audience. Will you be playing Brittle Bones Nicky 2 at concerts? I want to go, but religious stuff is kind of iffy on that song. Why is it iffy? I don't think it's iffy. I thought it was actually quite it was on point. Yes, for anybody who's coming to a show, we are going to play the trilogy of the Brittle Bones Nickies at the end. We're going to play 1, 2, and 3. Hopefully, it's not too much, and hopefully it is a great time and people are still digging it while we play back to back to back. So for those of you coming to a show, you can expect the trilogy of Brittle Bones Nicky. Where chronologically in the Brittle Bones Nicky? I already asked to answer that. What made you continue the story of Nicky in his years alive instead of continuing stories as skeleton? I think I probably relate more to Nicky as a real life kid. I feel like I get Nicky. I understand Nicky. I can put myself in Nicky's shoes and vice versa. Once you get into like the afterlife and, you know, purgatories and heaven and hell, it feels like it's a little, I don't want to say science fiction for me, but it's not that I don't enjoy that, but it's definitely, I would say, out of my wheelhouse of not even expertise, but it's not something I'm as familiar with. So I think it was just probably more challenging for me to come up with a new story in heaven and hell and how that works, but never say never. Are you going to do more Hank lore? Well, Hank is definitely a good fan favorite character. We really like Hank too, so never say never. I don't have any plans for Hank at this exact moment, but not related to Brittle Bones Nicky. Do you know when the books are supposed to ship? I was told they're shipping this week. I actually ordered one for myself. I actually literally bought it. I didn't even get it for free. So I'm currently waiting on the book as well. So hopefully it comes soon. Okay, a couple tips here. Richard, thanks for the $5. Is Shifty Nicky's friend or bully? The photograph confused me. I explained this earlier in the stream, but Nicky and Shifty did become good friends. They realized that they had a lot in common with their backstories and their tough upbringings and kind of lack of, you know, good parents in their lives. And they ended up developing a tight bond. Let's see, next one here. Cyan, thanks for the $5. Just wanted to say, as a recovering addict, I love Ryan and Dave. I know a sequel is iffy because of the topic, but I'd love to see Ryan doing well. Okay, well, I really appreciate that. Actually, one thing that was cool, we put out a call to our fans about asking why Ryan and Dave, or what Ryan and Dave meant to you and why, kind of thing. And we got some cool like sound bits from it. And so many people had said that song helped with their recovery. And we ended up chopping a bunch of those, stitching those voiceovers together, and we're using it in our live show as kind of like a cool little quick introduction to the song. So I'm really glad that song helped you in your recovery. That's awesome. Nothing better than that when you're someone who's a songwriter. Why is Nicky's mom? Would you make a Carla-centric song? I feel like Carla could have her own song. I probably wouldn't sing it. We need someone to sing it, but I'm not scared of that. I like that idea. Whew. I woke up very early this morning. Little kiddo was up many times last night, so I'm sorry I'm fighting the yawns a little bit. What made you come up with the idea for Nicky to make a deal with God and the devil? And where the story? Congrats on the kid. Thanks. I thought it was such an interesting, position to take, that do you go to heaven or hell? He's this character who's, really just been dealt a shitty hand and tried his best in the world. Did he make some mistakes and bad decisions? Yes, but he never deliberately tried to hurt anybody. He always, his character has a good heart and means well and tries to do his best in the world given his circumstances. So does he deserve to go to heaven or to hell? That was kind of the gray area. And then when he ends up, in the afterlife, it turns out that God and the devil are the same person, which I thought was kind of interesting. So, you know, I liked the idea that what if God and the devil are the same thing? Because when you think about it, I want to preface this. If there's anybody's very religious in this chat, then you're probably not going to like what I have to say. But I'm a little bit more agnostic. I'm not. I don't hardcore believe either way. I kind of claim I don't know. If I saw God one day, I'd be a full believer. But until I do, it's hard for me to kind of totally buy into it. So on one hand, you have this unbelievable thing that we call life and consciousness and the beauty of this world that we live in. And, it seems like miracles happen every day and things that are almost defy explanation. So on the one hand, you think of, God, and then on the other hand, you have, just desperation and the worst acts that could literally, happen to a human being, that happens on the daily, both on a more personal level and also on a macro level. Like when you have things like happening in the Middle East right now, that to me, it's like, is that also God? If that's the thing, in which case is he the devil? Like, so I was kind of bouncing around those ideas in my head, and I felt like, okay, maybe it'd be interesting for the form of art if he was the same guy. Hopefully I didn't offend anybody there. Okay, Junes. Well, thanks for the further $5. I believe you're running out of money. Why is Nicky mom in hell? She seemed to be nice. I understand his father is going to hell. His mom's actually not in hell. His mom was at the gates before he went to heaven or hell. So yeah, a little bit of clarification there. What's an underrated Rare American song? I think we got lots of underrated songs. So many of my favorite songs barely get streamed. Like, for example, one of my favorite songs on The Human Animal is Flip the Switch. Just really think that's a really cool, special song. And it's like one of the least streamed songs. So I guess underrated is, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So I might think something is more beautiful or underrated than you guys as the listeners. So yeah. Okay, what else we got here? Thank you, Kanasi. Being a fan forever, my first vinyl was one of y'all's. I relate to a lot of your music and it's helped me so much. Top 3 favorite groups ever. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate your support and that you've dug our music. That means a lot to me and the band. Much appreciated. How do you feel about reaching 1 million subs? Man, I feel like so much happened so quickly. We've been, kind of chugging along, and the subscribers weren't growing nearly as fast as we wanted them to. For the last couple of years, I think we'd even made a goal to get to 1 million subscribers, and then we didn't have a video or anything totally pop off. And then, bam! All of a sudden, one day we put out something, and it gets 1 million views in 2 days. We reach 1 million subscribers. It's so cool when things just like kind of happen. They happen. So I think everybody's feeling really good and excited, and we're stoked to go play some shows now. So feeling very good about 1 million. I think it's a super just a great achievement for everybody we've all put so much work and thought and blood, sweat, and tears and emotional energy, and everybody on our team, especially Duran and Django, who have been at this with me for several years now, coming every single day with new ideas and trying to make everything work. And I think it's just it's a great little day for, I guess, for the whole team. And I'm so glad that we were able to do it. I'm excited to get the plaque. That'll be awesome. What a sweet accomplishment. I have a question. When Nicky became the skeleton, is he still like a servant of the big man? Because I've noticed him fighting the guards and saving his friends. Does this affect his position? I'm not totally sure I understand your question. I'm sorry. Is there any meaning to the skeleton being important imagery in the series? Yes. The skeleton is like kind of the all-seeing eye of Nicky. The skeleton is Nicky, just his future dead self. So he gets to look back on his life with like a Deadpool-y kind of like, sarcasm and wit. that can like kind of poke fun of himself or take the piss out of himself, and he kind of acts as the narrator in the screenplay. So the skeleton is definitely an important character overall. Okay, sorry, I said we were going to announce the contest winner at 4:30, and we didn't. So, okay, going to the random randomizer thing on YouTube. We're scrolling through. Da 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 da. All right, the winner is Moger Elemental at Mogier Elemental, Mogere Elemental. You are the winner of the contest. So you get the 1 of 1 skeleton plush doll, which we are stoked to give you, as well as a little bit of merch. So if you could reach out to us on, firstly, are you here? I don't know if you're here. But if not, make sure you DM us on Instagram, and then we'll get your size, and we'll make sure we send you out a sweet little merch pack and make sure that it's the right size. I don't want to send you like a small or a triple XL if you're a medium. So reach out to us. Congratulations. Thank you, everybody, for joining the contest. It's really helpful for us. Oh my God. Jones, another $5. You're going to spend all your money on us, sir. Your bank just called you, LMAO. But would Nicky ever be interested in revenge against his father and or God Satan? I don't think he's a revengeful kind of dude. I feel like Nicky, he forgives. Okay, let's do 5 more minutes of questions, okay? We'll end it at 4:45. Let's see what else. Would you ever do a song with Dave Grohl and the Foo Fighters? I think Dave Grohl has bigger fish to fry right now. It sounds like that man is juggling a lot of women and kids. So maybe Dave, if he makes it out of this one, we'll see. What do we got here? Air Pillow, thank you for the $5. Will there ever be a backstory for Shifty? Again, in the film, in the screenplay, maybe we should just set up a GoFundMe or something and see if people want to fund this video or this movie. But there's a whole bunch more in the relationship of Shifty and Nicky, which I don't want to give it away because I am I have positive feelings that we're going to be able to find a network or something like a Netflix or an Amazon or an Apple who will want to develop Brittle Bones Nicky into either a series or a film. But if we ever did make it ourselves, then yes, there's a lot more on Shifty and Nicky. A lot of congratulations. Why was his heart broken? I cannot hear what happened there. Okay, so at the end, some people have asked about Nicky and Carla. Carla essentially double crosses Nicky. Nicky thinks that he's helping her by getting her like passport and papers back and all the cash that she and her sister were owed from Chaplin so they could all escape together. But they essentially turn on Nicky. They take the papers and the cash, but then they run away. So kind of all the heat is directed towards Nicky, all the police and everything, and it allows Carla and her sister kind of a nice, easy escape, out the back door, so to speak. And Nicky was just crushed. His heart was just totally broken in half from this. So that was kind of the ending and the double cross. Someone asked why he got 4 years in prison. He didn't kill Shifty. Shifty died by the bully in the heist that they were kind of a part of, but he was kind of guilty by association. Thank you for the $5. Nitroki, which character in the RA universe do you want to expand on? Probably Carla. I think Carla can have a lot more to say. I think that she's an interesting character. Um, what else we got? A couple here. Sorry, these go so fast, it's hard to read them. Why did Ben go to prison? That's an interesting one. Kind of bounced all around on this. Uh, we didn't want him to be like a murderer or anything. We wanted him to go to prison for like tax evasion or something that's like a kind of a smart crime that he was, he didn't want to pay the government his money or something like that. But if someone else has a better idea for why Ben went to prison, by all means, let us know. I don't know if there's going to be a part 4 yet. I really don't. Truthfully, I do not know that. So we will see. How long were you working on Brittle Bones Nicky 3? The idea for this came up in, I think, like February or March. And then we took 2 different recording sessions, I think 6 days total to record it. And then the video took a good 6 weeks to do, or maybe even a little bit more. So this actually all came together in like the last 6 months. It was pretty well after we had fully done the Human Animal album. We'd pretty much gotten it mastered. That's why it didn't come out on the album. Because that was all done already before this song was complete and the video was complete, which in hindsight, I wish they could have overlapped and this could have been maybe the last single or video for the Human Animal, but we just didn't have it quite in time. This is a really good question. Maybe we'll end on this one. Ireneo says $5, thank you. When the movie happens, do you want it to be animated or live action? I could totally see this being live action. And I think it could be awesome. I'm not like married to this being animated. I love live action. I think sometimes it's easier to relate to characters when they're real life. And I feel like Nicky is a very real, earnest, kind of grounded character. So I think that he could do very well as a live action movie. And so I am totally open for either one of these things, to be honest with you. I'd be curious what you guys think. If you would rather, put in the comments right now, would you rather Brittle Bones Nicky be animated or live action if it could be? I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts on that. Well, everybody's saying animated. There you go. Well, everybody's saying animated. That's crazy. Spider-Verse, yeah, that's cool. Wow, everybody's saying animated. Do you guys watch a lot of animated movies? I don't. Interesting. I'm writing a book, and one of my characters is heavily based on Nicky, and I hope one day you'll be able to read my book. Cool. Send us your book. I'd love to read your book. That's so cool. Okay. I think we're gonna wrap it up there. Maybe one more question. Sorry, Kristen, I don't understand your question. What is the story behind the new GIR? Not sure what that means. Sorry. Okay, guys. Thank you very much. I always enjoy doing these things with you guys. And oh, girl. Sorry. Okay. What is the story behind the new girl? Well, she comes from like a war-torn Europe, and her parents sent her on a ship in the night because they were scared that they were essentially going to die in this war-torn country. And her and her sister kind of have to take care of each other from a very young age. They landed a little port town, which we figured could be maybe Halifax or something like that. And then the Chaplin circus has come through town, and Chaplin sees these 2 young girls who doesn't really have a home or anywhere to go. And the 2 girls actually worked kind of in the circus in their homeland. Their parents were kind of like a traveling circus group. And so they naturally kind of felt at home in the circus, and Chaplin offered them jobs and education and a house and food and kind of took care of them, so to speak. So Chaplin always feels like they're still in debt to him and he'll never let go. And they kind of develop into big stars, especially Carla. So that was kind of their backstory. Okay, that's it for now. Tour is on sale. If you want to come to Europe, there's limited tickets for several shows, especially London. That show is almost sold out. We'll see you on Friday. Really excited for that. If you guys want a lyric book, we're also almost sold out of those. And the North American tour is on sale now. Many of the VIP shows only have limited tickets left, so make sure you get your tickets for that if you want. And besides that, just want to say one big thank you again. You guys are awesome. You're the reason we do this. It keeps it fun and interesting. Keep sharing with your friends. The more people that you send our music to, the more places that we get to go, and more shows we get to play, and the more content we get to make. So yeah, thank you so much, and you guys are the best and much appreciated. And we will see you at a show soon. Bye, guys.